you guessed if the meal was going to the Illuminati of scale, you were correct. That's where it ended up going. We showed up, set it all up. And registry, that opened up and we all registered.
What? That's what I'm talking about. I got that golden ticket like Willy Wonka.
That was pretty much all we did on Friday, was just pretty much meet and greet. Evening time, they opened up just a section of their crawl course. Not the main thing, but we did hit up a little night trail, which was cool. There was some cool rigs out there all lit up. Luckily, I got my lights installed in time. During the night crawl, you couldn't really see all the features. You know, it was kind of still hidden because it was dark. That was cool because nobody got to see anything really like in detail yet. So it kind of got the excitement going. You know, they were there, you just couldn't see them, you know, right. It was really fun though, still. All in all, great crawl. Met a bunch of cool people already on the first night. Really fun. The next morning, we woke up, got out there, and it was breakfast. And then it was the show and shine, which was amazing. So many amazing builders out there. Like, it was unbelievable of the amount of talent that we have in our hobby. It's just incredible, some of these builds. Just to be there and witness it, it was incredible. I saw there was so many vehicles, it's hard to just point out a couple, but there was a couple that were just amazing. Gus, amazing builder. Some of his trucks were, you couldn't tell. If you looked at it right, it was, and just used your imagination, it was a real truck. Everything about it was spot on. His builds are literally amazing builds. Some Canadians came down. He had a Packard, and I'm talking, that's one of a kind. One of a kind. I've never seen an RC build like that, and it performed really well. He took it on the trail, and it made it throughout the whole trail, which is pretty crazy for being all hand built. Another couple of ones. I met this guy named Brad. He had some really awesome builds. This Dodge Ram he had was amazing. Josh from RC Everyday brought some of his builds, which was up there too. You know, if y'all know him, his builds are really great. Just a bunch. It's hard to pick out a couple, but those ones really stood out to me a lot, especially Gus. His trucks were just amazing.
Votes are tallied and prepare to win your massive, super high-end, electrifyingly awesome award. All that work.
The trail was open. We all hit it up. We hit the long trail first, and it was long. It was, I think, a scaled down 1/10. It was like 10 miles. It was really awesome. Bunch of cool rigs out there. Bunch of features. We finally got to see the features in the light, and they were incredible. trails were absolutely amazing. Not too hard, but not too easy. Really good. Lots of creeks, lots of water. Bridges. There were bridges. It was just amazing. The terrain was great. The weather was amazing. All of it just awesome. Awesome.
In the town on the hill where the apples grow, the church bells ring every hour or so. I took a little walk just to see the ships coming in. The sun rose up right above the highway. Black, blue, red, yellow, golden skyway. It's like the day that you jump into the wind. I can't go back down to that water again. These old muddy shoes keep on walking the streets. Someone's bride buying Egyptian sheets. Display of some little store in town. And there's my reflection against the morning light. Hello, Mr. Ghost, Mr. Skeleton White. You better comb your hair, you better wipe that George clay off your brow. You better stand up straight, man. These people hardly recognize you now. Lord, carry me like a sailing ship. Comfort me before I slip around the dark side of the moon. All this spinning around hurts my head. I just sit here lonesome for you. There's a million things I would rather do instead. I know it takes a lot to change a worried mind, and I know it takes a year to see a warm summertime. But I'm made of nails, man, made of tombstone and tall, tall trees. Tombstone fades and the nails will rust. Tall oak trees, they all turn to dust. A little every day, it's so slow that you can't even see. I guess I'll try to find another thing to be. Lord, carry me like a sailing ship. Comfort me before I slip around the dark side of the moon. All this spinning around hurts my head. I just sit here lonesome for you. There's a million things I would rather do instead. I just sit here lonesome for you. There's a million things I would rather do instead.
my church ended back up, which was a big surprise. I sold that, I think, last year at Kentucky Beat the Creek, and it came back, and I got to, reunite with that. It was pretty awesome seeing people enjoy that. The mill, everybody enjoyed it. I was so glad to see how many smiles and pictures were taken of it. That was the whole idea of me bringing it along, and just put it with everybody else's awesome builds. There was some BBX racing, which was awesome. Really dusty, but awesome. It was exciting. You didn't know what was going to happen. Lots of crashes. Yeah, that was fun. Really dusty though. It was hard to stay close or else you'd get dusted out. I'm sure a lot of people got dusted out, but it was fun. The last day it opened up with a rally race, which was awesome too. Some cool builders. They were based on the TTO2 chassis, kept it simple, 2-cell, the regular stock brushed motor, but people built some amazing bodies. Like, they were amazing. We had all kinds. We had Porsches out there. We had Corvettes out there, WXRs, bugs, trucks. It was a good time. It just brought us all, not only crawling, but it brought other cool stuff to the event, which was fun to get a step away from a little crawling and do some racing action. And it was, hardly any of us race. We're just crawlers, but so that was a good time. After that, they raffled off some stuff for Operation Charlie. Some cool stuff got auctioned off. They made a good amount of money for Operation Charlie. Glad to see those guys out there. And it was the last crawl, pretty much. Everybody hit up the trails for one last crawl. The power. Everybody was everywhere. The last crawl, small groups. You'd see small groups. You'd see a bunch of boom racing trucks out there, like the Land Rovers and stuff. Bunch of Chevys, Toyotas. Everybody in their little sections. It was pretty cool to see that. Lots of awesome builds on the trail.
I fell in love with a ghost. I can see through her eyes. When I try to hold her hand, she walks she tastes like.
I'd really like to thank Andrew Leonard. He's the one that got me in. It was a big surprise. I had no idea this would, ever be able to happen to me, since I don't build skill rigs like trucks and stuff. I do my best, but I'm not as big time as these guys. And it was an honor to get invited just for my scale buildings. And it was amazing. Thanks, Andrew, for that. Rob Matthews for pulling this whole thing off. He's awesome. Weeks out there, hours and hours of putting in work to make all the trails amazing and awesome. The Canadians also came down and helped him out. I'm not sure on their names. I'm sorry, y'all, but y'all know I'm talking about all of y'all that helped me out, went up and got me stuff and brought it down to when I was setting up the mill. Josh from RC Every Day. It was cool seeing him again. And another person that it was cool. It was hard to find him, but his name was Lucas. I had never met another adult Lucas in my life. His name was Lucas White. It was cool to see him and meet him and crawl with him. It was fun. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't. And there's going to be a lot more builds coming up. I'm going to try to get a lot more builds for y'all to enjoy. Thanks for watching.